Steve. So since you're looking for constructive criticism from a neutral party feedback, I would just like to say that I tell people all of the time that the host of said spaces is room, that the objection is that they're told they're going to be given 5 minutes to bandstand, and maybe you determined to exercise your right as a host of said room to not allow them the full length of 5 minutes. So maybe just say, hey, I'm more than happy to have you come up and share your opinion, and if it sucks, I'm going to stop you.
Yes, you're 100% correct. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I say it a tad differently, but you're right. Everybody's entitled to a fresh five. And if they say something stupid, I'm going to stop them, interrupt them, and make them explain it. But if they say something really good, I give them more time. That's right.
Yeah. He always has a disclaimer at every show, and he reminds everybody, if it's your first time here, this is how it goes. And he constantly does that at the top of the hour, the bottom of the hour, and it's well known.
I guess my question, JC, would be, is it okay if I call you Jay? I need to say JC.
You can call me James if you wish.
I guess my question for you would be, it sounds like this is a rub that, you feel like maybe you're not being heard in his space and really.
Oh, I'm not the one challenging Steve. I said,
okay.
I'm part of his mod squad. It's John.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was John? Was it John? Was John the one challenged?
I'm just saying that.
I thought I heard one or two more. If it's okay with the mods, I'd love to hear what they have to say. But again, I don't want to derail your room and make it all about me.
I'm just saying, when I hear Steve Appel screaming,
if it's okay.
We're going to entertain this for about 2 more minutes, y'all.
You got it. No problem. You got it.
Instead of the fresh five, should be called the garbage five. No 5 minutes of anything other than his stupid Uncle Bruce. So he has his sycophants like JCC here, who booty claps up and down, Joe. Now that's fine. Yeah, he really does.
I give you a hard time.
Everybody knows about Steve's rules. Everybody on Clubhouse knows Steve's rules. Look, it's all good.
See, this is what happens when you're on Clubhouse too long, ladies and gentlemen. This otherwise sophisticated gentleman. Like the booty clap, it got me.
I know.
Steve's all right though. He can run his room how he likes, but it should be called Steve's 5 minutes, not your 5. It's not the pressure.
Exactly. You hear that, Steve? That's some good constructive criticism for you.
I was just going to say that's some of the best constructive criticism I've ever heard, and I will remember it. Thank you very much.
See, look at us accomplishing things. And
What did you say? I missed it. My audio was messed up.
There are some people on this app that the moment that they get a green badge, they turn into a fucking asshole. And Steve is one of those people, right? Like there are some people who get this ego trip whenever they're on specific spaces where they generally are nice people, but then they just turn into assholes because they feel that they can't. Get off my dick. Let me land my statement, right? Generally turn into assholes for no fucking reason, and then the moment you see them get in other rooms, they're back to normal because they don't have a green mod badge. This has been a pattern that I've seen with Steve regularly on this app across multiple spaces, not even his house, even when he's moderating in other rooms. We have gone at it in the past, and I'm just bringing it up because someone else brought this up, but this is also something that I've observed myself.
Now, do you think this could be somehow connected to the Stanford prison experiment? Do you think that this power, no, I'm serious.
I really have to laugh at this conception of green bean power because, really, what do I have over? I have the same power here in this room with my green that I have in my home when I invite people over to entertain them. I'm allowed to have rules about going to engage in my presence. And I love it when I hear people on Clubhouse talk about how the rooms aren't echo chambers or, we're free speech advocates here because everybody curates their space to even Chillism, which is one of the quote unquote freer speech spaces on this app. They still have rules. there are still rules of engagement. Like there are still some things that they choose to curate. There is no free speech on Clubhouse, not generally.
Oh, sorry.
No, and the power of the green bean, like it's just to say that, hey, this is my space. These are my people. I want to have the kind of conversation that I want to have. I personally don't like echo chambers. I oftentimes ask Monica, she'll get mad at me. I will green bean people that I know disagree with me and I know disagree with her, because I don't want to give the perception of I'm trying to lean or propagate one way or the other. I'm just one of those people. I'm not afraid to hear people that think differently than me. It doesn't bother me at all. More often than not, it generally kind of confirms my position.
You got to understand, people will not over.
In regards to replying to, I want to, not that I'm booty clapping for Steve, and I'm going to paraphrase because I think I've heard Steve say this before. Regardless of a green bean or not, Steve knows he's an asshole, accepts he's an asshole, and will behave the same regardless of having a green bean or not.
And I was just going to say, regarding the power of the green bean, my concern, my feelings for both myself and everybody is I pride myself on my consistency. And if I am always an asshole, which I don't think I am, or I'm always a dictator, then when people come in, they know what to expect. What I don't like is when people act one way one day, act another way the next day. You know, the gentleman made a point, and I'll land it very clearly. When I don't have the green bean like here, you're damn right. I'm not going to take over their space. In fact, I asked permission a couple of times. I don't have a green bean. I don't deserve a green bean in this space, so I'm doing my best to comply by their rules. But when I have a green bean, I like to consider myself at the least consistent.
I know, but you got to listen to what. What did Mother just say though? You're ignoring what Mother just said. Are you not hearing what Mother just said, that the green bean impacts the way people behave? And Steve just confirmed it.
I think we can all acknowledge that that's true. There are certainly where, based on the people in attendance of said rooms, I can say I absolutely feel better with a green bean, not because I feel like I have power over them, but maybe because I feel like at least like I can't be removed by them, that kind of thing. You know, like that's more the thing for me, is just having the protection of, okay, I'm amongst friends.
What? I just put in the chat, it gives you 3 powers.
Kind of crazy.
It gives you censorship, the ability to reframe, and creation, which is emotions plus content.
Well, I noticed that, like, so the people that, like, KK, love you long time, that bitch, and Psycho.
Oh my goodness, and we're not, okay, no, we're not going to do that.
So I noticed that, like, if I have a green bean, she won't fuck with me, but if I don't have a green bean, then she will. So I think that just having this little green thing underneath me, literally, like, people don't fuck with me.
Correct.
You know what I thought when Anne was just talking? And do you remember the old snowman, Frosty the Snowman? When he starts and he goes, messy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, and I feel like that comment was very random, Bima.
Oh,
That's why I love you.
Yo, Evie, you're not going to honor your bit. What's up, Evie? You're not going to honor it.
Oh, it's TDS10. How are you doing, TDS10?
You owe me money.
Evie,
You owe me money.
Evie, you're not going to honor your bit.
You owe me money.
There's still a ceasefire. That was a bit, dude. That was a bit.
No, it's a full
From
truth.
last week Tuesday, big man. Last week
Full truth.
TDS10, Donald Trump's about to deploy the National Guard to Chicago.
And 10.
He's a Jamaican scammer. He's trying to scam me out of $100.
You're really going to not
Oh my gosh.
ask everybody, is there a ceasefire in Ukraine right now?
10.
No, I have to answer the question. Is there a ceasefire in
Wait a minute.
Answer the question. Is there a ceasefire in Ukraine right now?
No, there's.
Exactly. So Evie, are you not going to honor your bet? Yes or no?
You owe me
No,
after it's
conversation over.
Yeah, I know it's over. But Evie, come check me. Give my money
Yeah.
back.
We'll figure it out in a couple of weeks.
There you go.
Oh, I remember that comment I wanted to say. Listen, so another cool thing about tipping in the modern day is remember, folks, okay? Like we have Cash App and Venmo, and you don't have to put your real name on that type of stuff, right? Like in the back channel, you have to put your real information, but the surface of what like the receiver will get is just like a pseudonym, right? So anyway, long story longer, because you know I do. Like when you go to like baby showers or like a catered place or something like that, where like the tipping might not be, or you just go to a place when you don't remember cash, or you don't have cash, you don't remember bring cash because of our credit card era, right? I usually tell people like, listen, give me your Cash App and send me a request for whatever. I'll just leave a note on the table in the case. So don't let that be an excuse to not tip people. If you don't have it right then, you can be like, yeah, send it to me. And they've done it, and I love it. It's a great, thank you.
And speaking of tipping in restaurants, before I go, I just heard this morning, and maybe I'm a little late to the party. Did any of you all hear about Cracker Barrel?
Oh yeah,
Is their logo?
we had that conversation.
Oh, you had it already? Okay. I just found out about this morning.
Oh, did you? Yeah. They took the Cracker in the Barrel out of the picture, y'all.
But they didn't change the name.
Let's go Martin Washington.
They also issued a retraction today saying, we are so sorry, but we're not changing a thing, and we're going to keep doing Pride Month. They put that out there. They are the dumbest people in the world. They're called Democrats, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, I have a question for you guys. Just because we kind of have a mixed bag audience, I'm curious. Everything's about the executive order yesterday about the flags. Are people's feathers really ruffled about this?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Trump's an executive order.
So I have mixed views on this one. I think, to be honest, like it's not cool to burn the American flag, but
You're talking about burning the American flag.
I know you can fucking hear me, Steve. I know you can fucking hear me, right? So it's not cool to burn the American flag, but I also was gonna say that I think we have an issue with like here's the thing, right? Like I prefer limited government. I don't think government should be involved in as least as possible in the everyday life of the average human being. And what we are seeing with the Trump administration and with Republicans in general is the acceptance of large government and the intrusion of government more to more on people's way of speech, people's way of acting, because it's conveniently aligned to what they want. And Republicans traditionally have not been like this. So it is kind of like this executive order is going to get struck down because the Supreme Court already ruled against it, right? But it's just a fucking distraction. And it actually
Well, how do you get charged with a hate crime if you burn the LGBTQ flag?
Like, basically not being able to express yourself if it doesn't align with a certain political party, and that is problematic. I'm done.
Okay, Poppy, I hear the point that you just made, but like this is just a couple things that I would like to comment on. I can see in the bigger picture the point that you made. If I take a lot of the other stuff out of the equation and I look specifically at the executive order on yesterday, it is not going to get struck down because Trump didn't change any law by virtue of that executive order. All he did was encourage attorney generals to apply the laws that are in effect in each state when the burning of the flag precipitates violence. And so he didn't create any law by virtue of that executive order. All he essentially did was, I think, kind of enunciate and pronounce that he thinks that attorney generals should do a better job about actually enforcing laws that they already have on their state books. So with respect to that, I don't feel like it was an overreach. I feel like it was a media blitz to just bring awareness, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And that.
Oh, Mother, now I know you can hear me. Thank you.
Wait, go ahead, Mike. Hold on. Mike had to jump in when I did.
Who cut me off? I didn't cut you off. That was why I made that comment, all right? Don't be passive aggressive.
Oh, I'm not passive aggressive.
Mike.
I
think it's largely irrelevant to agree with you, Serendipity. It is kind of a distraction. It's also a further example of Trump trying to kind of push his will with executive powers to show that he's the ultimate authority in many ways that haven't been done in the past. To make a statement, and to assert the executive branch power a little more so, which he continues to try to do in all kinds of different ways. But that said, as a U.S. Marine, I can tell you that I'm bothered a lot by a concept of outlawing burning flags. I think it's the quintessential freedom of speech method that is the biggest example of that line where we will go too far if we don't allow it. In the 90s in the Marine Corps, when I was on active duty, it was actually brought up that there was some laws put in effect or they were trying to put some laws in effect about it. And it was a big deal in the mid-90s where we were talking about it as an issue. And I remember a lot of Marines saying, fuck yeah, it needs to be outlawed. And then I remember the Marines that I respected more, the ones that actually, believed in the Constitution, the ones that were really kind of straight-laced. Almost all of them would say, no, like if someone burned one in front of me, I'd kick his ass. But as far as law goes, we should not make it illegal. I think that is, it scares me a lot because it really reminds me of authoritarian states overseas that would not allow their citizens to do that as well. So, in theory, again, I think that it's an example of Trump kind of pushing his will and making the wrong decision, even though it's not ultimately that big of a deal or impactful at this moment.
You have to look at this in terms of communication capability on platforms. Censorship on this platform is real. Censorship on YouTube is real. Meta is real. I can burn the American flag on YouTube. I can burn the Bible on YouTube, but I cannot burn the Quran and I cannot burn the LGBTQ flag. That would be hate speech, and I could get arrested for that. So make it make sense, please.
No, I agree with you, John. I mean, I think those are all very valid points. I guess, Mike, one question I would ask you, because, on the American issue, I think I pretty much agree with you about it. I don't like it. I don't want to see it. But from the standpoint of the premise of our country being free and us having the ability to protest, the laws that are in effect in the various different states regarding the desecration of the flag are specifically tied to the flag being burned while utilizing violent protests, throwing rocks at windows and stuff. Is your position the same, that even in those situations, you don't think that there should be any legal recourse in the burning of the flag?
Yeah. And again, I think those are two separate things. I mean, I think they should, obviously the laws that exist for vandalism or whatnot, hate speech. I'm borderline on hate speech laws. I'm not sure I completely love those either, but I see a little more of a reason to have those in the flag banning laws. So yes, I agree. I think that it should not be an increased sentence or a factor when it comes to prosecuting people who are breaking other laws. I really see it as a quintessential free speech issue that I think represents what free speech is intended for more than any other activity that I can think of in the United States.
And I kind of want to pivot just a tad, but I was thinking about, how everyone, all their criticisms of Trump, and, when we think about it, if Trump ends up bringing some world peace, who gives a shit what his intentions are? I always hear that Trump's a narcissist and all these things, and that may be true. However, if we're all making more money, if we all have stable jobs and income, if our families are thriving and there's less violence, and I mean, I feel like who cares what his intentions are? If he wants, just something on his bucket list to show that he's the best, who cares?
And it's about intelligence. We want the smartest decisions. We want the best answers. We don't want bullshit. We want the truth and we want transparency. And, this is, again, an issue about censorship and about the platforms, about Clubhouse, YouTube, Meta. The market cap of Meta and Apple, we're talking about the biggest corporations on the planet that are limiting Americans' ability to communicate freely, openly, and transparently. Again, I will repeat for you. I could go to jail today if I burn the Quran or the LGBTQ flag and put that up on YouTube. But if I burn the Bible or the American flag, it will get promoted by these platforms and it will get likes. So the algorithm and the big tech companies and the executives that are pushing anti-American deranged algorithms, those are the enemy of we the people. Get your facts straight.
I want to make one thing clear. I'm not opposed to platforms doing anything about a flag burning. If YouTube wants to delete videos because someone's burning a flag, I'm completely in support of YouTube having the right to do that. The government having a law in place against the action is where my problem lies.
Yeah, but that's what it has.
Mike, did you not hear what I said?
Laws when they literally have their hand in every single business or platform that we use every day.
That's a whole other issue. They need to get their hands off the platform.
Google won't do that, Mike.
Intervention in business is a big problem.
And I think John's point, though, we do stand mighty and proud on our individual liberties in this country. But I think that one of the points that John's made is spot on as far as, being able to burn the Bible, being able to burn the American flag. Like, we take pride in the fact that we're free enough to do that. And yet, there is a lot of censorship on burning the Quran or burning a gay pride flag or burning, I don't know. There is almost like a double standard there.
Well, as long as the government isn't the one making those decisions, then it doesn't affect the Constitution. Private businesses and public businesses, for that matter, are not obligated to abide by the Constitution, I don't think. I mean, but the government should never be telling us we can't burn a Bible or a flag. I mean, that like I said, those are the biggest example of freedom of speech that I can possibly imagine. I can't imagine anything else. You use your mouth, use your actions, but and they also don't affect human beings. You're not infringing on anyone else's rights by doing either one of those things. So it's just not. I just think it's completely unacceptable for the government to get involved in that.
I agree.
No, I agree, but I think we as consumers too, we put a stamp on things by continuing to use platforms that allow the double standard. So to some extent, there's we kind of get to choose by choosing which platforms we're going to use. I wonder, are there any laws specifically related to publicly protesting and burning Qurans and burning gay pride flags? Would there be any legal ramifications to doing something like that publicly?
100%.
In Michigan, we did. Gretchen Whitmer did pass this anti-hate bill for LGBTQ. So when there was people protesting the streets against LGBTQ, people were getting arrested and things like that. So I don't know if that was considered, because essentially, so that right. Yeah.
There's a double standard in that. Do you not think so? Where's the outrage over our freedom of speech?
This is a political freedom issue. There's 100 political issues. Burning the flag is a political issue. Burning the Quran is a political issue.
Yeah, because they were
I don't know if I believe that. The way we're framing this is honest.
Can you hear me? They got arrested disrupting the peace. Is what they got arrested.
I mean, are you not following what's going on in the UK, where they're making 80 arrests a day off of what people post on Facebook? That is real lockdown. America could go that way, But the problem is there's this double standard. You know it and I know it. I wish Steve was here, because if you are an atheist and you want to upset Christians to get them to wake up that they're living in some type of delusion, or if you want to wake up Jews, or you want to wake up Muslims, or you want to wake up Buddhists or Hindus, and you want to do it provocatively on the internet, you shouldn't have to go to jail or face any legal repercussions if you want to create an artistic video about burning the Bible, or burning the Quran, or burning the Bhagavad Gita, or burning the Dhammapada. These are all books. I know a lot of you just like to come here and talk nonstop, incessantly, year after year, and never read a book, but that's your life. I'm just saying, in the book club, we read books.
Kitover is a book candidate.
You can go to John Kitover on Instagram and view some of my books. These are called books. They're external hard drives. Maybe some of you have read them on this app. You know, you don't just talk all the time for years and years and years. You read what's called a book on here.
Yeah, it's awfully assumptive to lump a lot of people together in a particular room to say that they don't read, and even if you're on Clubhouse. Interesting
If
accusation.
candidate Kitover is elected, he will make it illegal to lump people together into groups. He will make your identity ungroupable, and he has pledged to cure AIDS within the first 6 months of his tenure. Vote candidate Kitover for Congress.
Hey, Scott, how are you doing?
Did anybody here get AIDS?
The great one. The great candidate Kitover.
Does anybody here have AIDS from getting the COVID-19 vaccine?
Candidate Kitover can do more push-ups than RFK.
Well, moderators, all I would say is I hate for interrupting your room. I apologize if I've been rude or caustic like acid. All I'm trying to say is I'd like to read a poem when you beautiful ladies and gentlemen, have the room ready for just a quick little poem. It's called My Beautiful Clubhouse Friends. That's the name of it. Well, my question is, why would you say no to a poem?
I'm the only one who wants to hear the poem. But I'll leave it to see what you're saying.
I do want to know, though, did you write it or did you have ChatGPT?
No, I wrote this myself while I was working on my campaign on my computer.
How long is it?
It's not long. It's not long. This is how bad your ADHD is in your dopamine feedback. That'll be the name of my next poem. Okay, this is called My Beautiful Clubhouse Friends. I may be clapping my hands, but I don't belong to a crowd of clappers. I'm neither this nor that. I'm not part of a group that loves flute music, or one that loves gambling, or one that loves drinking wine. Those who live in time, descended from Adam, made of earth and water. I'm not part of that. Don't listen to what I say, as though these words came from an inside and went to an outside. Your faces are very beautiful, but they are wooden cages. You'd better run from me. My words are fire. I have nothing to do with being famous, or making grand judgments, or feeling full of shame. I borrow nothing. I don't want anything from anybody. I flow through all human beings. Love is my only companion. When union happens, my speech goes inward, towards shams at that meeting. All the secrets of language will no longer be secret in Clown House.
Thank you, John. I actually appreciate those words. I really enjoyed that poem. I'm probably in the minority on the John fandom, but I enjoyed that while sipping on my coffee. Things you bring to these.
What were you holding in your hand?
All fans of John must unite. We must unite and get candidate Kitover elected for Congress.
John,
What were you holding in your hand when you read that?
John, I take issue with the fact that you called us friends. I don't believe that.
And what were you holding in your hand when you read that?
Well, it's funny that you ask that question because I know you probably haven't picked one up in quite a long time. It's called a book. But I say friends for life.
I don't think it's fair for you to call us friends. You don't think we're your friends.
Friendlies.
Wait, I see that Donald down there was off mic. Donald, did you have something you want to say, Donald?
With your pink ticket and your pretty PTR.
Go ahead, Scott. Do the impersonation, Scott. Do it, Scott. You got this one, Scotty.
Oh no.
My fellow Americans.
Congressman Kitover is so fantastic. I mean, we know the Democrats cheat more than the contestants on Temptation Island, but not Kitover. Okay, let me tell you what. He's going to stop the climate change, the global warming. You know when the warming's happening? It's the illegal scum. And when they eat the dogs and the cats, they barbecue them, okay? And the smoke goes up. It creates the global warming. Kitover is going to cool things down. He's fantastic, okay? He will make it illegal, not just to burn the flag, but to, like, burn those red, white, and blue bikinis they wear in NASCAR, okay? We love NASCAR, okay? We love that. You love NASCAR. I love it. We all love it, okay? He's fantastic. Vote for candidate Kitover today.
Scott, why is it that you think people are so resistant to change? People like Matt Cool down there, or Rohan, or Alan, or Poochie, or even Don Julio. What is it about change that causes so much anger and stress for people?
I think my good friend Alan is very change positive. He's a very change positive guy. He's got a very dynamic room where he welcomes you in there, Kitover. Roland is a good buddy. I think a lot of these people are adaptive people, but I think most people aren't. I think you're right. Most people have a tough time with change. Nature of the human condition. We are set in our ways. Our thinking becomes rigid. It's more natural to not be adaptive. I think. Just because it's the nature of the human condition. Don't hate people that don't love change. They're just being human. We become quickly acclimated. Our brain does not like distance. It's very disorienting. And so we sort of cling to the familiar to avoid distance.
I have a comment on that too. I think a lot of people are change averse because they think to change their mind means that they're somehow admitting they were wrong.
Hold on, I don't need to call anybody out. Man, cool. I thought, cool. Do you have a new account? I thought I was following.
Oh, he did. I heard he got clipped.
What? No, man,
yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I mean, not cool. He can be a messy bitch.
Oh, shit. Well, Matt, I'm going to add you anyway because I don't have any beef with you. I mean, as far as I know, but shit be trickling down my timeline and back DMs about people talking shit, so until I hear otherwise, I'm gonna go ahead and add you back. If you're gonna block me, because I know I've been blocked from a lot of people that I've blocked, I get it. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and add you. I'm talking about my ladies in the mud.
This is why I record, because I have the past 2 weeks on YouTube on 13 different accounts, and there are good reasons why people got clipped. But to tell you the truth, maybe I'm a hypocrite, but I don't know why I got clipped. But I'm just saying, it's all on YouTube. You can watch the drama. No one's going to go back and watch it. But I will say, to me, it's pretty interesting and pretty funny. And Pepe has a new account. He goes by a new name, some kind of stupid French name. And he's deepening his voice and going into black spaces again. And everybody knows it's Pepe right away. Immediately, people say, that's that racist Pepe.
Okay, so Donald keeps coming off mic but saying nothing. Donald, do you have something to say? You keep coming off mic while people are speaking, but you're not speaking.
No, it's not.
We can't hear you.
It's not against terms of service, Monica. I read the terms of service. I'd be happy to read them here live on Clown House for you, because I know most of you don't actually read anything.
Okay, we're not going to have that conversation today, Tom. Donald, did he leave? Sometimes
he can hear us, but we can't hear him. So he can come back. Maybe that's what's going on. I'm not sure.
No, it's me. I moved him to the audience because,
Well, Donald, if you can hear us, sometimes that's a glitch, and if you close the app and then come back, it will resolve itself sometimes. And welcome to the stage, Will and Poochie and Alan and Donald again.
Today I'm not. What's up, sis? Today I'm not at home. I'm the 37th president of the United States. And I just want to say to my friend, Campbell, that Kate's going to get you in serious trouble. So you ought to be careful about who you record. Thank you.
Well, you know what you ought to be careful of, Alan? Don't burn the American flag or the Bible or the Quran, and don't burn the Bhagavad Gita or the Dhammapada. Don't do anything controversial or say anything controversial, because recording free speech is the same thing as saying the words myself. So, Alan, if there's something that you don't like that I've recorded, that you've said, I mean, maybe it's a you problem and not a me problem. And I know, now that you're Nixon and all, I'm sure you've got some great solutions for America, Alan.
I think there are many solutions for America. I like that's one of the things. I only know that we need to take America seriously. And, as the 37th president, I can only say that every seventh president, as in the 17th, the 27th, the 37th, and the 47th, we were all Republicans. And I think the rational discussion forum is wonderful because, in all seriousness, rational starts with R, Republican starts with R, right starts with R. If it's Republican, it's right. And that's the 11th Amendment. Thank you.
Well, Democrat starts with D, so that must mean doom, destruction, demise, deleterious, dangerous, delusional. D with delusional and Democrat, it's very similar.
I find it so amusing that so many people allow their politics to become their identity.
Yeah, but see, Alan was doing us all a favor there because he was being performative and he took on a character. And I would suggest that people on this app sometime be creative, create an alt account, do a character, do a different voice, see what it's like to be an actor or an actress. Because your problem is you think you're not an actor or an actress. But the truth is your identity with your red hat or your dog or your big Harry Carey glasses or your purple lipstick and blue hair, that's all performative.
Wait, you talking about my glasses?
He's totally talking about your glasses.
Well, look at my glasses. I'm wearing glasses. Scott's wearing glasses. It's an aesthetic. So what I'm saying is we all manipulate the way we are perceived with our aesthetic or our communication. There's 100,000 forms of communication. I'm just saying the way you PTR or the way you frame yourself is the way you project.
And if candidate Congressman Kitover is elected, he will make all forms of communication tax deductible. All your text messages, all your interactions in the clubhouse will be resulting in tax credits. Support candidate Kitover.
See, the irony of that is the more spam you probably consume, the worse your financial situation. And so you're probably not even paying taxes anyways.
You know what's interesting about that philosophy is that's perspective, is thinking that if somebody's profile is them being performative. Some people are not, because they know when they're on stage and they know when they're off stage. Some people, they don't know. They think it's all performative. So it's rather about perception, isn't it? I can portray myself as such a person, whatever it is, and no matter what I do, people will perceive me as this or that or the other. So I can try to do it and be sincere, and I'll still be considered an actor.
Well, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You know, they curse you if you say something. They curse you if you say nothing. They curse you if you remain silent. That's the nature of communication. And running for Congress, I can tell you, I have been attacked more times than I've been praised 100,000-fold. It's wild how dragons magically appear and start breathing fire on you, and then they disappear if you're willing to crawl into the cave with a sword, kill the dragon, and emerge with the power of the dragon.
Yeah, I don't care to kill the actors. I just know that I can identify them. I use sincere ones as well. And I think that there's a need in this world for all of them. We all have voices. We all have perspectives. We all have things to give.
Well, so Alan Watts says there's this feeling of being here before. So there's this game that played out real time on this app, and it's a fun game to be a part of. But I would just say not a lot of people are doing creative things on this app, but people are complaining about the news every single day as if that's real intelligence. You know, Anne was like, I don't care what the fuck Trump does as long as we're making money and the economy grows. Well, that's like what a stupid person says who's lazy and says, well, I don't care about anything, and the status quo is fine, or just even do more extreme things as long as the economy is growing and as long as I'm making money and we're safe. What do I care what Trump does? That type of attitude, but I think people have TDS, that they think Trump is doing all these things. He's one guy in a suit sitting in an office saying, do this, do that, draft this, say that. You know, he's one brain, one man pointing fingers, saying things. He can only do so much. So I think people on this app do a lot of projection onto Trump in the same way that people might project onto the evergreen Pepe and say Trump is a racist, Trump is a supremacist, he's evil, he's a pedo. Everything you've heard, the worst things you could possibly say about Trump, you've heard it in Alan's room, you've heard it in this room, you've heard it in every room. And all I would suggest is a lot of that is projection.
Can I just ask? I think it's important that we consider the weight of a man. Now, the 27th president, he was tough. He was a big man of about 320 pounds. I was a small man. I have to say I was a small man. I was only 160 pounds. Now, Donald Trump, I've read and studied, and I think he's approximately 320 pounds. So he's twice the man that I am. Thank you.
I just love it. That thought is up here. Makes me very nervous.
Well, I'm like shocked to hear Scott's economic opinion, because when I hear Scott has a rant. I call it like the Scott Kent Jones rant, where it's about neoliberalists and the new political orders. And this guy says there's these three political orders, and we're currently in the beginning phases of this like Scott has his shtick, okay? But I would just suggest that is Scott's hypnosis, and it's actually meaningless, has no power, accuracy, or any substance or weight whatsoever. So I challenge Scott. You tell us, Scott, if you were the president, what would your three priorities be for we the people? Go ahead, Scott. Tell everybody your three priorities for we the people. Those are the three biggest things, Scott. Go ahead.
John, if I had three priorities for the American people, it'd be 1, 2, 3. Number 1 be elect. Number 2, candidate. Number 3, kid. Thank you.
No, I'm telling you, Scott, really meditate on this question because I've thought about it, sitting there meditating. If I was the leader of the people, what would I do for we the people? Think about that. I encourage everybody here to think about that because you know what the answer is? Whatever issue you need to resolve in your life is what you will project upon the people and say, that's what I want for them too. Go ahead and do that thought experiment right now.
Yeah, no, I actually just agree with you wholeheartedly. But thank you.
John, let me give you some advice. I've been in this game a long time. I ran with Liberation in 1946. And simple solutions for simple life. That's the answer.
No, my thought experiment holds up. It's the golden rule. What I want for my neighbor, I want for myself. Do unto your neighbor as you want done unto yourself. So there's nothing new under the sun. Everything is as it always has been. However, ask. Oh, wait, is Akima here? Yeah, I'm sorry. Ask yourself, it's the whole thing is what I want for myself is what you want for the people. And so, on my situation, I did this thought experiment. I would encourage anyone here to do this simple thought projection because what you want for yourself is what you want for your people. And what your people want is what you want for yourself. You see how that works? It's a full projection upon we the people. And the truth is, we the people is basically pointing towards about 30 billionaires, which are gaming this is, and I'm not talking about just billionaires, I'm talking about people with 50 billion, 100 billion, 150 billion, the top, the top 30 in terms of number. They're very active and vocal because they have the money to do the most projection back, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does make sense, but I disagree with you wholeheartedly. There's a lot of things that I would like for myself, but it's not going to work for my neighbors. There's a lot of stuff that would work for my neighbors. It's not going to work for me.
I know. Well, give us the actual. See, you're not answering it.
Because if you live in a community where you're only thinking of yourself, then you're not living in a community. And you're not considering other people.
No, you're not.
There's not a whole lot of people that I've learned and that I've actually.
Kristen, repeat back the question. If you were the president, what would your priorities be? You're not answering the question.
Are you talking over her, John? Stay on mute until you're done.
Thanks. So I was very cynical about 20 years ago, and I have since learned, people have taught me they're a lot kinder than I gave them credit for. They're a lot smarter than I gave them credit for. And more trustworthy than I give them credit for. And I've learned that. Yeah, there are some people that I've been fooled, total con artists that have no conscience. Yeah, but those are few and far between. And luckily, a lot of rules in place that protect me and protect the neighbors from those kinds of people. And it's nice to be able to, when it has been demonstrated, to be able to trust that as well. Thanks.
Hey, Jane.
I'm merely trying to make a point.
Hey, John. I put an answer to your good question in the chat. I would love your thoughts on it.
Good morning, Agent and Jane.
Hi.
Yeah, Jane, that's a great answer, and that's one part of the solution, but it's a much bigger problem than that. Yeah, of course I agree with that. Every American agrees with that.
Do you think so, John?
Yeah, I've worked in corporate America. I know what everything is like you.
Doesn't abide by that. Corporate America doesn't ensure that everyone.
No, listen, this is you've worked in organizations. There's politics in the organization. It's all about power and relativity and money but the biggest problem is government and the taxation system.
John, wage theft.
Yeah, welcome to the IRS, Jane. That's what wage theft is. Your employer is giving you a unique opportunity to live, to breathe, to eat, to poop, to shower, to live. You're getting income. Income.
And you should give that income to the campaign of candidate Congressman Kitover.
And I could say, there's something about John that I really respect. And something that Donald Trump does. Thinks only of himself. And doing shit like others, as you can do on yourself, steal from the people. That's what the presidency is for. As I told David Frost, if the president does it, it's right. And I'm sorry, but I have to leave. But thank you for your time.
So I want to ask Kristen a follow-up question. I heard what you said. I listened closely, Kristen. But let me ask you the question again. Kristen, if you were the first female president of the United States of America.
What she said, John.
No, I'm moving past that. I'm asking a new question now. That's old news in the older room. Kristen, if you were the president and the first female president of America, Kristen, what would you do for we the people?
I think that's kind of a trick question, isn't it? They've asked that every kind of debate. I mean, it really is kind of this. Like, what do you want me to answer?
I want you to answer what your intuition tells you to answer.
My intuition or my reason?
Your intuition or your reason. Just an answer, Kristen. Anything will do.
Well, good, because the great thing is that I'm not running for president. I don't think I'd be capable. Secondly, my intuition is more of an intimate thing that I don't share with everyone. Thank you for asking.
Got it. Okay, so you're a no. No for not being able to answer a simple question. Duh. Some people just can't answer a fucking question.
I mean, yeah, she did answer. She didn't not answer. She just didn't elaborate.
Yeah, that was an answer.
It was a non-answer.
It was
Darn it. The female president left. I wanted to do a competency test.
So, Jane, let me ask you about what you wrote. Regulate large companies so they're able to pay living wages and be profitable, of course, because nobody should have to run a business unless they're profitable. Not hard. Yeah, not hard. And subsidize small businesses through taxation so they can pay a living wage and not go bankrupt. Wow, Jane, that makes perfect economic sense. That's a real mathematical equation. Unfortunately, it doesn't hold up in the real world. Oh, look, Ben is here. Hi, Ben. Listen, Ben, look at rule number 9. We can't talk about old rooms and old drama. I don't want to bring up the Bunny Ranch experience and outside of Vegas.
Let's do it, John. Okay, John. Take it down a notch or two. Let's give some other people an opportunity to interject. You know, if so, and you ask me what I would do if I were ever to become president, I'll answer your question for you. Hey, KB, again.
Hey, yo, I would have had to get my oil changed. Got stuck behind a whole fleet of trucks and it sucked.
I'm sorry. Agent Malone, I have not seen you in a hot minute.
If you go into chillism, if that's where you spend most of your time, it's because the IQ level is too low for me there.
I do not go into chillism. I mean, I occasionally, if there's nothing else going on, I'll go in there and fall asleep, but I don't spend a lot of my time in chillism. I'm afraid of that stage.
Go in rooms are actually, it's hard to avoid now, but rooms with Edmonds, now known as John Kitover. He seems to have cast a spell on about half the people who are, let's say, 110 IQ and below, it's really people are shilling for him, promoting him, that really should know better. I don't understand it. The guy is actually evil in many ways. I mean that very sincerely.
I'm gonna have to respond, Serendipity. You can't come on stage and call me evil, Agent. That could be a projection, Agent.
Cry for America.
I think the philosophy for a lot of people has been that since Clubhouse came out with their anon feature, which prevents stopping anybody from recording or streaming rooms or rooms that and by virtue of adjusting their terms of service, since we can share to all the different various platforms now, I think that people have just taken the approach that it's become a fruitless effort, and I implore you.
That people just flip the script and are like, oh, not only will we stop condemning this evil person, but we're going to now promote him and celebrate him and elevate him as much as we can.
Okay, you're projecting, Agent.
I mean,
How
Jesus
dare you?
says what
How
we do,
dare you,
so
Agent?
please, you did
You're no gentleman coming up here saying I'm evil 2 times in a row, Agent. I'll have to defend myself if you're going to say such slanderous, libel, defamation.
Hold on, John. You'll get a chance to respond. Let Agent land and you can respond, John.
We shouldn't. Jesus didn't mean to make the least of us as far as moral character to run, to run our rooms or be the focus of everything we do. I don't think that's what Jesus intended, respectfully.
Well, respectfully,
I don't
we're
think
living.
Jesus knew what running a room would mean. I don't think Jesus had any idea what a clubhouse was going to be.
Of course he would know what he would. Listen, Mike, you couldn't be further from the truth. I hate to break the news to you, but I got a picture of the Last Supper in my kitchen. You know what that Last Supper looks like? It looks like Clown House.
My goodness.
You have the power to kick him right now off the stage.
I do. This is not my house, though, and the house owner has made the decision to allow John to participate in the room. So I'm just simply trying to respect the house owner's
Listen,
wishes.
I'm gonna do Agent a favor.
I actually have a private house that, like, when I have conversations that I don't want to have to worry about being streamed or recorded or otherwise information used against me, that's where I retreat.
I mean, to be fair, John's not breaking any rules.
No.
Because you don't like him. We can't kick off people we don't like. That's bullshit.
Yeah, Agent, and you've come in here and slandered, defamed, and labeled me twice now by calling me evil. Sir, I would suggest that you go look in the mirror and reflect, because when you project like that, I'm going to sit here and defend myself until the day's over. So take your bullshit, Agent, and shove it up your ass.
There are actually other good friends of the owner of this house that actually really don't like the presence of Kitover here. But again, I'm just filling in while he is absent, and I'm just trying to respect
But
the way
thanks for
he
welcoming
like it.
me
Yes.
to the stage. I appreciate you, Serendipity.
It's good to see you. I have missed you. I haven't seen you in a long time, and it is good to see you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will remind you, his name is Agent Malone. He calls himself a double agent. His name is Agent Malone.
We like Agent, not too much on Agent.
I just want to point out that you don't build an echo chamber in Serendipity. Look at this. There's 3 mods, and we all have a different answer to the question above.
This is true.
See, Agent is doing what I suggested earlier is the problem, which is censorship. Preventing people like me causes a bigger problem for you. And so I am a microcosm of the macrocosm problem, which is through the NDAA, the NSA, the Utah facility, all this money we're spending as taxpayers to surveil ourselves is a waste of money. Apps like this hold people accountable in the court of social justice. And on platforms like Google and Meta, the only justice you're going to get.
Do they really? Do apps like this really hold people accountable? I think not, Mr. Kitover.
It's public. You're speaking publicly, and whether I'm in it recording or not, if I go in with an anonymous, you're still being held in the court of social justice. So I would suggest that those no, please, you're censoring me now with your green. Okay.
Contests and cliquish behavior. That's what apps like this do.
Okay, well, you got the power. You got the green bean.
You can hold big rooms and you can draw large crowds. And while they're sitting in that room, they're all going to be, tickling your balls and agreeing with you. And then they're going to go into the next person's room and they're going to be, ooh la la and all over them as well. There's no.
Well, you flatter a lot of people and you stir the pot.
You have pervasive women. You have pervasive women that get up on stage and kiki it up, and they use their soft, little, sweet, soft-spoken voices, and they include enough reasonableness with their, hearsay, quote-unquote, receipts and slander. They take their little passive-aggressive digs, but they wrap it up in a really pretty little package, tips included, and the masses are just like, oh, the poor little victim. There is no social justice on Clubhouse. It's all about who's got the latest drama running in their rooms, who can be the most provocative.
I'm getting social justice. See, that's my point, is you have to pursue it personally.
I'm not done yet. Nobody holds anybody accountable. Everybody just comes along to watch the train wreck. So, yeah, I'm certainly going to disagree with you.
Well, that's why people go to NASCAR. It's the same principle. People want to see a crash out.
Yeah, Christian, just like that. Now, anything that Christian says right now is going to be gospel, y'all.
Oh, wait, shoot, let me do it again. Hold on, because right now, you can hear all of it.
That's right. Get those titties up there, okay? Front and center, please.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I thought it was done.
See, I think it's easy to roast people, and especially roast me, but I would submit that I provide a valuable service in some of the drama I bring, but I'm not the only one who stirs the pot. I'm the only one who's recording other people stir the pot, and myself occasionally. But as I told Stephen Pell earlier, after you have the conversation long enough, you realize that the person you're speaking to is a hypocrite, and that also you yourself are a hypocrite. So I would just say, until you get to that point, plus you can't be a critic about art and say that's not art, because everything is art. And I would say, prove me wrong.
Yeah, you can definitely be a little shit stirrer from time to time. We all can be. I saw those titties, Kristen. Don't even try it.
Yeah, that's good way of putting it.
Oh my gosh.
Unjust.
See, does anybody not see how Trump essentially stirs the pot too? And he's very effective at doing it. Because you could say, the mainstream media is the message, or the simulation, or the medium is the message. But the truth is, Trump is very sophisticated, and he also tricks people, intentionally. Like yesterday, he kicked somebody out of the Oval Office. He said, "Who was that in the back that said that?" He said, "Get out of the office." Like, see, that type of content is what I'm talking about. It's essentially, it's not a meditation class. And so Clown House is not an educational app. It is an entertainment app. It is performative. Everybody here essentially is playing a game, a role, an ID. And the way you brand it and craft it is your artwork. So that's, in my opinion, the truth.
No, I agree with that. I've said it a million times over that Trump is a master at manipulating the media. He's a master at centering himself in divisive topics, manipulating the media to push certain narratives. He's a master at marketing and PR, especially marketing and branding and his own PR. right? And we have to remember that he produced reality TV for how many years with his Apprentice and et cetera, et cetera. And so I also feel like some of the reactions to John's point, some of his wild statements and antics, I think is he's producing, he's giving us content. This is more reality TV, unscripted, whether we realize it or not. I don't believe he means half of the pearl clutching things that he states. He just knows that the liberals, the progressives, and the media are going to get riled up. He even knows his base is going to argue with people online about what he really meant to say was. Yeah, it's all performative. I agree.
That's
the job of the president. They're like helping the country in any way that basically the president is a fucking troll. What good is that?
Right. Is it helping the country? I don't know if maybe it's providing a little comic relief, and maybe it's distraction. It doesn't matter what. This is just my opinion, of course. Isn't politics, as part of politics, distracting the people? Every politician, president has done it in some way, right? They use some sort of tool or tactic or initiative or program that its true motive is to distract us so that we don't see what they're doing behind the scenes. It's like hiding one hand so you don't even know what the other hand is doing. So is it the country, Hakeem? Yeah.
And don't forget too.
Who's that, Mike? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, don't forget too that he's been doing it for decades. He's been using the media for his own purposes for decades, and he acts like he hates the media, but he actually loves the media for what it does for him. It's all a ruse. And when he was younger.